Hello, this is Ron Clymer. I want to talk to you today about listing inventory. If you've been in the real estate business for any time at all, especially if you're brand spanking new, less than 90 days, and you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You're not an employee, you're an entrepreneur. In fact, do you notice if you're brand new, how much money you got going in the wrong direction? Every time you turn around, there's dues, there's fees, there's taxes, there's lock boxes to buy, there's signs to buy, there's just all kind of stuff. Money going in the wrong direction. And I'm not saying that's all bad, but money going in the wrong direction is all bad. Not much good about it if you ask me. But you need to pay attention to what you can do to get income. Now, resist any temptation to create outgo. Somebody calls you, wants you to sign up for that $29 a month for blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you don't need it. You don't need it now. You might need it later, but you don't need it now. But when do we get paid? We get paid at closing. We get paid at closing. Now, before you go to closing, you have to go through pending. And before you go to pending, you have to have a listing. So if you're not, and by the way, if you're not getting paid at closing and you're in a state where that's legal, which it is in Florida where I am, I'm in Daytona Beach, and in Daytona, you can get paid at closing. And if you don't have that in your employment contract, you need to renegotiate with your broker, or better yet, might need to find another one. But please accept this as the truth, what I'm telling you right now. Listing real estate is better in a dozen ways than showing houses to a potential buyer. In today's world, today's business environment, don't waste your time showing your houses to buyers if they haven't agreed to pay you a commission. Period. End of the story. Now, your income depends on how you spend your time. Spend your time looking for a prospect to list. Somebody you can make a listing presentation to. Someone that spend your time educating yourself how to list better. Now, if you've been in the business, if you've been in this real estate business 90 days and you've got 0 listings, listen carefully to what I'm telling you. How many listing presentations have you made lately? Say the last 7 days, the last 20 days. And I'll bet if you haven't made any, you're not going to get any listings. So you've got to concentrate on how can I get and sit down at somebody's kitchen table, seller's over there, I'm over here, and we're talking about listing. So you need to make sure that you are working on getting listings. So if you go out and make a listing presentation, best thing they can say is, great, we'll list with you. Worst thing they can say is, no, we won't list with you. That's the only 2 choices there are. Now, if they don't list with you, I hope you know why they're not listing with you and why they did list with your broker. By the way, I know why, but if you don't know why, leave me a guess in the comments and I'll tell you if you're right. But I want you to concentrate, focus on getting listings. Listing is what makes it work in this business. Now, you know where they are. I told you in the previous video, if I didn't, your sales trainers told you, everybody's told you. Let me remind you, a prospect is someone that needs or wants your services. Can't afford it, and will probably buy it from you or your competitor in the near future. That's the definition of a prospect. Well, let's talk about somebody whose listing expired the MLS yesterday. Is he a prospect? As good as they get. What about a for sale by owner? 8 chances out of 10, he's going to list with a realtor. That's a good prospect. What about somebody you know has a job transfer? You saw them at the Rotary Club and they said, oh, we got a new job. We're moving to Kansas City. Oh, congratulations. You need to be calling that guy, especially if he's somebody you know at the Rotary Club or something. Heirs, people that have inherited houses. They inherit a house here in Daytona. They live in Chicago. They're going to list this house with you or your competitor. Empty houses. You see a house, there's nobody living in it. Find out who owns it. Call them up. Would you be interested in turning that house into money? Ask them. Now, call these folks. Learn how to handle a little rejection. People act like rejection's the end of the world. There's plenty of rejection in the world. And if you got plenty of listings, you'll have less and less of it. I promise you that. But these people, they're going to list with you or they're going to list with your competitor. And if you don't believe it, next time you see a for sale by owner, write down the address, don't knock on their door, ride back by 6 weeks later. There's your competitor sign in the yard. What does that tell you? It tells you if it had been you talking to them, you'd have had some chance to get the listing. If you don't talk to them, you got a 0 chance. So get out there and talk to them. Now, here's what I want you to really get into your head. Your listing inventory makes your income predictable. Try this. If you have 0 listings right this minute, you have 0 listing today on May the 20th. You got 0 listings. I can guess your income next month. Now, if you got 20 listings or 10 listings or 30 listings, I can also guess your income. In fact, let's try. Now, let me just give y'all some facts. And no, I want you to go to your MLS and find out these facts. The answer in my MLS, how many houses were listed in the MLS last year or in the recent past? And the answer, 82,600. 82,600 houses have been listed in the Stellar MLS. How many of them are pending? 19,660. That's 23%. 23% of the listings in my MLS are pending. Well, if you've got 10 listings, 23% of your listings would be pending right now. That means they went under contract last week, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. They're just waiting on the mortgages and the due diligence and all that, and they're going to go to closing probably in the end of this month or next month. During the next 30 days, they're going to go to closing. Now, in our neck of the woods, a $400,000 house is an average house. 3% of $400,000, $12,000. If you're on a 70% split, and surely you are, and if you're not, you need to be looking for a job. If you're on a 70% split, that's $8,400 times 2. That's your income next month. If you just had 10 listings instead of 1, 20 listings instead of 1 or 2, 30 listings. So get out there and spend your time, spend your effort, spend your psychic energy getting listing inventory. And if you doubt that what I'm telling you is true, well, if you doubt what I'm telling you is true, tell me in the comments that you doubt it's true, and I will post how you can prove it to yourself that it's true. I'm not going to bother to put it on the video here, but it's easy. Now, my point is this. If you are new, or if you only have 1 or 2 listings, you need to start thinking about, working at, focus, rifle barrel focus. Only thing you need to talk about is getting another listing. Get another listing. Let's get some listings. 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 You need to start accumulating listings. And if somebody calls you up and wants to buy a house, you tell them to go away or refer them to your worst enemy. But just don't worry about buyers. Don't spend your time with buyers until you've got 10 listings. When you have 10 listings, you will feel like the ugly caterpillar that just turned into a beautiful butterfly. When you got 30 listings, you will feel like you're on automatic pilot. Your phone will ring so much that you will be annoyed by buyers calling you. You won't always have time to deal with them. You'll get a cramp sending out just listed and just sold postcards. And you'll think to yourself, do I really need to send them a just sold postcard when it goes under contract? And then again when it closes? And the answer is, yes you do. Yes you do. That's what keeps your phone ringing. Listing inventory, listing inventory, listing inventory. Focus, focus, focus on listing inventory. No matter what anybody tells you, you need listing inventory. Listing inventory. Brain buster question, math question. There's always math in a real estate class. If you have 30 listings, how many of those would be pending? Pending. 30 times 0.23, if you're in my neighborhood, or find out if your statistics are different, they're probably not. That's a pretty average throughout America. But 30 times 0.23, 7 of your listings will be pending. Now, by the time you got your 30 listings, you should be able to afford to hire somebody to get those babies to closing, and you can worry about getting the next one. Because every time you go to a closing, what do you got to do? You got to replace that listing. Wow, you know a great way to do that? Won't you take those just listing postcards before you put that stamp on them and just go out and pass them out in the neighborhood personally. Knock on every door. Hi, I just want to give you a just sold postcard. We just closed on this house over here around the corner from you. Y'all gonna have some nice neighbors. Go around and introduce yourself. And you need to do that, folks. I mean, you knock on 200 doors and tell them you just sold a house down the street. One of them's gonna say, what do you think my house is worth? Gosh, we can figure that out together. Your status, your luck, your income is all affected by listing inventory. I want you to work on your listing inventory, and if you want to have some good advice on how to do that, keep watching my videos. Hit that subscribe button down there, hit the like button, help me out a little bit, and work on listing inventory. Thanks for listening.